Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Ready Set podcast. I'm Derek.
My name's Angus.
And today we've got our guest friends here again, Shanni, Landy, and Ehren. Thank you for coming back onto the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk a little bit about, relationships. More specifically, can guys and girls or even the same sex gender have platonic relationships? For those that don't know what platonic means, it's basically, can you be friends without being interested in one another, no matter what your sexual preference is? Got to be, correct.
Inclusive. Yes.
Inclusive these days.
2023. Yes.
We'll start with Ehren because I know Ehren has a lot to say. The way he's smiling the whole time.
I'm always smiling. You're in front of me, man. That's why.
Damn.
Well, Angus and I have a platonic thing going on.
Come on, Ehren.
Is it platonic?
I don't know.
No, I think guys and girls can have like a platonic thing, like as long as like from the start you kind of like know like that you're not interested in the person. But I don't know. To me, there is a time period of knowing someone, and you kind of know if the person's interested or not, right?
Okay, so I have a thing, is that I feel that when someone is attracted to someone, it's very hard to be platonic because there's always going to be that
What if?
attraction, right?
Yeah.
And it's very hard to separate that. I don't know if it is the same.
I was gonna say, is this given that both people are single, or
Yeah.
regardless?
Let's say they're single, or they could even be in a relationship. They could secretly, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, for guys, I feel that a lot of guys sometimes end up being friends,
Okay.
Yeah.
but they're not really, they're waiting. They're just
They're
waiting for
waiting
their
in line?
They're waiting in the reserves,
Yeah.
waiting to get subbed in.
Like if they're into you, they play the long game.
The long game.
Yeah, but I feel like that kind of stuff, it's like when you're like in high school and stuff like that. I feel like once you get into more relationships, you kind of grow out of that, hopefully. But I don't think some people do. They just think, we'll just be friends. And then eventually she'll give me a chance or whatever.
Like, what do you mean? You think that's a very immature approach?
I don't think it's an
Since it's
immature
high school?
approach. It's just, I'm just saying that like, it's, if you don't have enough experience in having a relationship, that's kind of like the default thing of like, you hear about like, oh yeah, be friends first and then go from there. But then if you don't take any action, then you're going to be in that friend zone.
Interesting.
But would that be considered a platonic relationship? Because you have interest, to that, you have an interest to the person. So, you're technically not, platonic with that person, right? So, you're just waiting. So, you're, kind of, waiting in friend zone for a little bit until you, shoot your shot when she's ready. Is that considered platonic?
I feel like
What do you
most
think?
guys, I don't think that would be.
I don't think
yeah,
that would
because
be
you have an
platonic.
ulterior motive, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you want to eventually make something.
Exactly.
So it sounds like I'm hearing, maybe from a guy's perspective, do you guys think there can be platonic relationships? Maybe we'll do a vote. Who says yes and who says no?
I think you can. If
Yeah,
you're not
I think you
attracted to that
can.
person.
Well,
if you're-
I know you can because most of my friends are girls.
Wait,
so I know
actually,
you can.
even if I thought one of my guy friends was objectively attractive, I feel like I could still have a platonic relationship
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's other aspects that I don't see us being in a relationship.
That's true.
for.
That's true. How about
Or
when
because
you
I'm-
meet someone, like let's say you're both single and then the guy meets a girl, first time meeting them, not knowing if
The
they're
friend's friend.
yeah,
Yeah.
they don't know if the girl has a boyfriend or anything. I think when the first thing the guy thinks of is oh, she's cute, I think I'm into her, and then if she kind of rejects that kind of feeling or says oh, I have a boyfriend, then you can then think of the next idea, be like oh, I can be your friend.
Yeah.
Is that how guys think? When you first meet someone, do you think to date the person?
Okay, it really comes down to how pretty they are. No, I'll be honest. No,
Yeah.
a lot of guys are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you see someone that's really pretty and you're single, right? You're
Yeah.
oh my god. Oh my god.
Because, yeah.
I need to get to know her. And then let's see that person is very nice, super genuine, and you hit it off right away. I'm pretty sure the guy would be very interested.
Okay, I was gonna say maybe what's the definition of platonic here? So it's like basically it's you have no feeling, like you would never ever think about pursuing a relationship. You're not actually very like
you've
attracted
already
to them to the point that you want to be something
basically.
more.
I think in a guy's perspective, is like if I meet a girl and in my head I'm like, okay, she's a boyfriend, or even if you even don't know that, like, so you're not attracted at all, or you're not even looking at that moment, you're like, okay, friends, then that's platonic. But I think in the first like 15 minutes or whatever, guys make that choice. Well, for me personally,
Yeah, I feel like a lot of
First
guys do
15
that.
minutes.
like if
First-
she's like if she's
Wait,
really
wait, wait.
attractive, then I might like poke around to see, and then yeah,
You do some scouting.
you
That's
do
what
some
I'm saying.
scouting, you know.
You're like freaking spy. You're just
Yeah,
looking around.
exactly.
And you're like,
So this is the scenario, okay? So
Okay.
you see an attractive female, like you're meeting through mutual friends, you're going to like someone's birthday party, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, she's cute across the room. You like talk to her, turns out she's like, oh yeah, I've been in a relationship for 5 years. Like we love each other, I have a boyfriend, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So what's your mindset at that point? You're like, ooh, okay, I'm gonna back off because she just said she has a boyfriend and I respect that. Or you're like, okay, it's fine. I respect in the moment she has a boyfriend, but that doesn't mean I'm not still attracted to her and want to potentially keep in contact because she's pretty and she's attractive, and potentially it may lead to something more once maybe she breaks up or blah blah blah, blah.
I think it depends on the guy.
Like, what do you think at that
Like
point?
obviously there's the good
scumbags.
and the bad,
You're trying
right?
to say scumbag.
You know, the bad guys will say like, you know,
What were they?
We could just be friends.
yeah, we can just be friends, but ulterior motive in the back end,
But
right?
you're saying that in the back of their mind, they always are thinking of like, I want.
Yeah,
to
like they
pursue her.
keep a roster of options of the girls they find attractive, right? That
Yeah.
haven't been
and are
cuffed.
just waiting, just like
Yeah,
constantly. Hey,
honestly,
did you break up
if
yet?
that's-
Did you break up yet?
That's their mindset, right?
I think the easiest way to weed them out is, let's say, usually those guys tend to do a lot of things, right? They're like, oh, I'll drive you places, do all that stuff. But then when something doesn't go their way, they take it out on you.
Wait, what do you mean?
So you know how if they're really attracted to you or they want to chase after you, they
Okay,
usually
so they're
do.
simp. They're simpy.
They're simps. They're basically simps.
yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, and then what are you saying? What do you mean they take it out on you? Take what?
So if they don't get they don't get what they want, and
They'll
let's
go
say-
cold or something.
Yeah, they go cold, or you say,
or be
"Hey, I'm
short
just-"
with you.
Yeah,
That's really
or-
unfair. Well, that's messed up.
Yeah, some guys do that.
Yeah, but that's the environment that we live in, right? There's
Like emotional.
What do you mean? I think that's
manipulation.
like not the right way to like.
we're not
go about
saying it's
that.
right or wrong. We're just saying that there's that bucket of people, right?
Mhm.
Really? Because
Yeah.
what are they expecting? I feel like they're entitled at that point.
Yeah,
Because the girl was never interested in them.
Yeah.
They
True.
went out of their way
They've-
to pursue,
They've
even if they
created
knew.
the narrative for themselves, right?
Yeah.
So it's not anyone's fault, but it's just on him that they're projecting that kind of stuff, right?
Interesting.
I've seen it.
but I believe you can still be platonic.
Yeah.
friends,
I
Yeah.
think there could be
Yeah.
potential for platonic friendships, especially if you guys been friends for a long period of time and you realize like, hey, like I like her or I like him, or and then like I just never see a romantic relationship with that person because we're just not that type of person together.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can like potentially have like friendships together. But I don't think it's like the first like maybe week that you meet the person that you could be like, hey, that's my platonic friend, right? So
Yeah.
I think it takes a longer period of time to realize that maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay. So I have a question for you guys. If you guys were, have you guys ever had that situation where, like, yes, you were initially attracted to that person, but like you became friends, but over time, when you get to know the person better, like nothing started at all, and like it kind of petered off into a platonic relationship. So it's like now you're like, it becomes, yes, they're objectively attractive, but they have features where you're like, that's
not
sort of
compatible.
like, yeah, it's not compatible. It might be a deal breaker for you and like for a certain thing, but you guys are still very good as friends. So I was like, have you guys ever come across that situation in your life? It's like where that's has happened before.
Honestly, I don't know if I'm like the right person to answer because I haven't really been in a position where I'm like, oh, like I'm attracted and trying to pursue someone because I've been in a relationship for a long time, right? So I don't know. Maybe someone else answer.
I think these situations that we're mentioning are mostly for guys. I
It
think.
sounds like maybe it's for guys.
'Cause, like,
yeah,
You know, traditionally we're the ones that pursue, right?
That's true.
that's
So like these situations come up for us more frequently than females, right? So
I feel like
Shout out to the ladies that pursued the guys.
yeah.
because I feel like a lot of females, they actually see most of their guy friends as platonic friendships.
100%.
From the get go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
They'll be like, oh, this guy's like my best friend. He's my brother. Like, you know, stuff like that. But like, I guess in the guy's perspective, they like could be pursuing them like deep down, like in the background kind of thing, trying to wait for their moment to like
Yeah.
get that chance. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever been to a situation where like you thought you were friends with this guy and then all of a sudden like he professes his love and you're
Oh.
like, where did this come from? And now it's like really awkward.
Where was the signs?
Yeah, there's no signs. Like you would hang out with me, you would talk to me, you know, like stuff like that. But like all of a sudden, like randomly be like, hey, like, do you want to go on a date? It's like, oh, okay. Then it's
just out of the
awkward.
blue?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
awkward.
Or you could be hanging out, but they think those are dates and they're actually not.
Oh my
Just
I've
hang
been
out.
on those too.
They
Happened
think
to you?
too?
Yeah, so like I have a story where basically I hung out with someone like a handful of times just for bubble tea or like food here and there, and then like basically there came a day where like she asked me like, oh, like what are we? And I was like, huh? I really didn't know, right? And then yeah, I just basically had to tell her like, you know, I don't see you in that way, and you know, I think we should just stay friends.
Were you like leading her on somehow, like through text, offline, like messaging?
No
Were you
flirting,
flirty?
nothing. Yeah, but I think looking back at it, it might have been like, because like, you know, I love to eat food and like be spontaneous, right? Like,
So you always hung out.
yeah, we just hung out like spur of the moment, like, hey, do you want to grab bubble tea like late night, or do you want to go, I don't know, grab late night food, right?
Yeah.
And like,
So then
you're
I
also
think
initiating.
in that aspect, they might think like, oh wow, like, you know, this
He's always trying to
person's
hang out with me.
me, but like in his free time or like spur of the moment, right? But it's, for me, it's just like, I just want to go eat. Like, I'm not thinking of it in a romantic way.
Just like, let's just see who's available.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm just paying like who wants who's down, right? Yeah. People who know me know me. It's literally about food,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
I think your situation might be slightly more rare for at least on
Yeah.
the guy's side. Like,
Yeah.
I have a feeling that happens to girls a lot
girls.
more often than it happens to the guys, because yeah, it is that chasing thing, right? Because you're like, well, you know, it's like if we're going out one-on-one with somebody, it's kind of like, unless there is it's truly set that it's a platonic one, there's always sometimes it can be miscommunicated as like, oh, this might be a date. Okay. Kind of deal. But yeah, I don't know. Have you two ever had that situation happen to you before? Like some random friend that you've been hanging out with just like randomly confesses. Oh, he's like, hey, you know what? I really like you. You're like, oh, okay.
I think probably, honestly, maybe not. Because I think I personally make it quite clear. Like, I'm very upfront. I'm not like, I don't hide that I'm in a relationship, and hopefully that person respects it. And if they want to continue hanging out with me, then I feel like I make it very clear that we're just friends.
but then before that, before you had a boyfriend, did you ever have these moments of like these guys just confessing out of nowhere? I guess that's what I'm curious about, because I never hear these sides.
Yeah.
Like, have you had
Yeah, there
two
have
friend
been.
zone guys out of nowhere because they thought that you were dating because you were hanging out?
No, I've never had a guy thought like we were dating because we hung out. But I have had situations in the past, like when I was going to school, even while I was like about to get in a relationship / in one, where I guess he liked me from the get-go, but I didn't know. Like, it wasn't that clear, but we could just continue to like hang out as normal friends with other people too, not always one-on-one. And then later on, he did try to pursue. Yes. And then I like declined.
Did he pursue or like confess or both?
Well, started with, I guess, like a confession, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, he was just like, I don't know. I can't remember how he did it. Like maybe like wrote me a letter or something.
A letter.
That's some old-fashioned sense. Right
Actually,
there.
I think
Some
you know what
snail
he
mail.
did? I think he actually got someone to like deliver something to my house with a letter and like just like wrote something,
shit.
something like that. But anyway, after that, and I'm not one to make things awkward. Like if I like, I'm not interested or I don't see you like that, then I'll just be upfront, right? I'll tell them, and then I'll be like, if you want to continue being friends, like I'm okay with that. I don't think it's awkward. Yeah,
Well, you, Landy.
I just shut it down.
I haven't come across a lot of these situations either. I mean, I'm thinking back in high school, right? Like yeah, you would be friends with these guys. You would like have the same classes, and even there was one time back in grade 9, like yeah, because I haven't been on dates since like I've been in a long-term relationship for a long period of
We're
time.
both the
So yeah, so it's hard to say about like nowadays
yeah.
about like
Totally.
what the dating life is now. But back in the day in like grade 9, it was like, oh, I would have the same class with this guy, and then like he would like have lunch with me all the time, and then we went to summer school together, and he would sit beside me. And then one day he was like, hey, do you want to go like eat after or something? And then it felt like more like a like date because he was getting a little clingy. He was getting a little like
touchy.
oh, wanna like see, I want to see you tomorrow, I want to see you the next day. It just made me feel a little awkward. So I kind of felt like, hey, I thought we were friends.
Right.
I didn't know it was like that. And then after that, it kind of like distanced a little bit because I just felt a little bit awkward after a while, right? So I don't know. It's hard. Like you feel bad because you thought they were like your friend, and then they confess their love to you.
That's true.
It's like a little awkward.
But I think sometimes you can tell though.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes
there
you
are
can
there are
tells.
telltales
Yeah.
when a guy is hinting that they're like into you more than just from a friend perspective. Like a
What are these hints?
I don't know, just the way they talk to you.
They like follow you everywhere.
What the fuck?
Just
But you know,
It's a
like
stalker.
if you're like in the same like
Stalker.
class,
Sounds like a stalker.
they'll like wait, like mine is like,
911?
oh, wait for me at
I
my
like to report
locker,
someone.
like walk me to class, like stuff like that. It's like,
Okay.
oh, okay, like it's like, oh, my class is just like across the hall, so I'll just walk you there. I'm like,
He walks
oh.
from one wing to another for you on a different
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah.
So okay, maybe I have a question. So
Uh-oh.
I've been in a scenario where, and I've asked my boyfriend he has an opinion on this, so I'll ask you guys. So back in university, like I was really close and still am, not like super close because we don't see each other as often, but back then we would see each other, we're super close, we're like best guy friend girlfriend, like one of my best guy friends, right? And he is very like kind, generous, considerate. He's always goes out of his way to do nice things for me. For example, like if we're on campus and we agree to meet up, he'll always bring like a snack or something, like a fruit jar or like one of those fruit things, or like chips or something, just like snacks for me, right? And then he'd also like pick me up a lot when we're hanging out and all that stuff. Like he just like went out of his way. But I saw him as just, again, a platonic friend.
Yeah.
Like we're really close. We talk about his relationships and stuff, like who he's pursuing. So I think that's pretty clear that I'm there for him and we're just friends. But my boyfriend keeps saying that like, oh, he definitely was interested in you at the time. What do you guys
Sounds
think about
like
that?
it.
I keep
If
saying
he's getting
no,
specific
he's not.
snacks for you, then
No, but he's just he does that with like, I guess other people too. Like he's just a considerate person.
Like with guys? He does that with guys?
Well, I'm not too sure about guys specifically.
Shanny, I hate to tell you this, but he probably did like you, but you're probably like one of the 10 on his roster that he gave snacks to.
Well,
Or he was waiting for a moment where you showed more interest to him, and then he would like make his.
He's
move.
probably
See,
he's
I
probably
didn't
baiting
think
for
so.
some tells, I'm guessing.
yeah, like
So-
I didn't think so. I just thought like we're literally just really good friends. That's why he treated me so nicely, because he's just a genuinely nice person and he enjoyed my company. We're close. So that's why he went out his
So
way
did you
to
ever
do these
find
things.
out?
Yeah, did you find out?
No, not really. He never like confessed to me, but yeah, it was just always something. Like he was extra nice to me, always there for me, like a really, really good guy friend.
But did he stop talking to you like because you had a boyfriend? Or
No,
like,
he knew.
Oh, he
yeah, he knew I had a boyfriend. Like, very clear. That's why I'm like,
Oh.
so clearly he wasn't
hard.
trying to pursue me. He's just a nice person. But my boyfriend kept on saying that, like, no, like trust
Because
me, he
he's-
was
No,
interested.
I don't believe this,
he's
Shanny. I think
thinking like a guy's like mindset. So I think maybe he does like you, but like you just like maybe think he's a friend. And that's why I think like platonic friendships like for guys and girls are so different. Like for girls, like we can see guys as like friends and we can like, hey, we can hang out and do things together and not have feelings for you. But
Yeah.
for guys, like if like this like if you hang out a lot and then you develop like feelings or like you have same common interests or something, then you're gonna be like, oh, I kind of like this girl. Like,
See?
you know?
yeah, the
guys
the
think
the dynamic is
differently.
different. Like from our point of view, it's
Wait, even if a girl has a boyfriend, because keep in mind this is the entire process.
yeah.
You may not
Entire
pursue.
process.
All these scenarios are when
think-
I'm in a
But I
relationship.
think like the guy's not gonna pursue because they're like respectful. They're
Respectful?
like, I'm not gonna like take you
Yeah.
away from
Yeah.
your boyfriend, but I
Right.
have feelings for you.
Yeah, so they wait. They
Yeah,
do the
they
waiting.
They're
game.
So
waiting?
you know, some girls have like lineups, like waiting for them, and that's why I
queue.
find that some girls, when they break up and they
There's just guys
end their
lined up.
relationship, they're in a relationship right away.
Yeah.
Like there's no wait period.
That's
They have someone
true.
waiting for them.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I totally agree.
There's guys waiting in the sidelines to be the guy to comfort them, and then you'll see like overnight kind of like relationship
people-
or like within a week. Like I've seen it so many times.
So fast.
It's kind of like messed up, but whatever. Like
I used to be that person.
What? Oh, wait.
Just,
Waiting in line.
Long game, waiting in
yeah.
line.
Yeah.
You're
That's
the
why I
over-
know.
I think all guys have gone through it, right?
Did you know that there were other guys waiting in line too? Like,
Oh,
what was your
hell
position?
yeah.
What was your
Hey, you
position?
know-
I don't
you
know
know-
what position, but I knew I was.
Yeah.
I know those people win.
You should always believe you're number one against all these guys. Unless it's one of your boys, then you have like, hey, dude, do you really like this girl? You know I like this
Paper,
girl.
scissors.
yeah. Rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel a lot of
Yeah.
guys tend to wait.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
because it's like
he
a
probably
safe.
was waiting.
It's a safer
Still waiting.
option.
Still
You have to think- yeah.
Still waiting.
Because you have to think about it this
Sorry.
way. It's like, to me, it's like within a week or two, whether you find out they have a boyfriend or not, you start hanging out with the person, group or single setting. Within like a few months or max 3 months, you kind of like get to know the person. And then you kind of decide like, do I want to pursue yes or no, right? And then you go from there. And then I think once you find out they have a boyfriend, you just shut it down, meaning like, yeah, we're platonic friends in your head, right? I know from the get-go when we meet, like it'll be like the girl will be like, yeah, we're platonic friends, right? Just because say they're not your type or whatever, or you have a boyfriend,
Explicitly
right?
says that.
No, I'm just saying everyone does it
Yeah.
unconsciously, right? So like I'm just saying that there's a different strat for guys versus girls in terms of when we meet someone new in whatever setting, right? And whatever the situation is. Right?
Okay.
'Cause I feel like for girls, like we don't wait in line. I don't.
Yeah.
You have the line.
Okay.
I'm like, I
that's-
don't
You
think
have
I've
the
waited in
line.
line.
you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Mostly all the
We out
guys
here.
like waiting. But
Yeah.
yeah, I feel a lot of guys tend to do that. Like, I guess if you were to give hints to someone that you like, what would it be? Like let's say you find this guy really attractive and you know you guys are platonic friends, but then you saw more than that because you're like, you know, he has his future together. He's just
and like we're both single, and there's
yeah,
no
both
like
single.
yeah.
Like
someone,
he just
in
has
the way.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
then you guys are into the same hobbies. You know,
I guess I would
same
like
value.
hang out with them more and see like if they want to do like just individual like things together, like fun things, like
Yeah.
More like date-like things.
yeah,
right?
like go on a hike together for a couple hours, maybe chat and talk. And I don't know if I
Would you make
would,
the move?
would make the move. I don't know. I mean, I would like do subtle hints probably.
subtle hints.
Maybe I'll be
Okay.
like brush my hand.
Or, like, be more
hold his
touchy.
arm
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like when
I
you're
think girls
walking.
like to like grab
like
onto
that, but-
biceps and stuff all the time.
Not with platonic friends.
No, I mean like if you're interested.
Oh, yeah, I guess
That's
so.
what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, so
Tips for all the guys so they know the signs.
more
Like,
physical touch.
More
I guess
physical
like you'd be like,
touch,
oh,
yeah.
like you've been working out, like.
I don't know. The
Oh.
typical.
Like it's been a while, like
Just make
Okay.
sure you're like you guys are flexing at all times.
yeah.
She
and
goes
you
in for a touch. You're like,
yeah, but I don't know
Like, I
about
don't know
like
if you know, but the washroom's over there.
yeah, but I don't know
I
about
don't
directly
need to
saying
go.
like, hey, I like you and I want to go on a date with you. Like I don't
Yeah,
know if I've
yeah.
ever like
don't think
I don't think I'll like have the courage to say that.
some guys are very oblivious though.
That is
Really?
true.
Yeah,
That
they
is
don't really
true.
know. Like, would you just like let them know then? After all these signs, you're being like touching his bicep, you're like saying like, oh, it's so cold and it's summer, and you're still hanging onto his arm.
I feel like if he reciprocates like some actions that I feel like, oh, maybe he's interested in me too, and it's been a long period of time, and I feel like he hasn't made a move, I would be like, hey, like, what are we?
right. Like, are you interested?
Whoa, that's a huge step. What are you
No,
guys like?
it-
Or like
just
what do
ask
you
probe.
want? Like not necessarily
What do you what do you want from me?
be like, oh, like
What is
get
this?
lost. I don't know, like are you? I don't know if I would say are you interested, but I feel like
Just be like, what? I think what are we is the most common one
because I'd be frustrated. I'd
you
be like,
do
hey,
get
what
a
are
point.
we?
You reach a point where like you've been spending a lot of time with this person. You've invested the time. and effort. You've done clear signs, and you really like them. So you really need to like sit down and be like, "Yo, what are we doing here? Like, are we friends or not friends?
Am I wasting my
'Cause
time?
the
Like,
queue is getting bigger, you know? Right?
that's true. The girl has a queue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a guy, we can't say that, but but you know,
Shorter queue.
yeah.
Maybe just
Maybe
Unless you're a celebrity.
your
That's
best
true.
friend is in the queue.
yeah.
Or your mom.
Are you,
Okay.
I don't know about in the queue.
I think she's just there for moral support, you
She
know,
is there.
for your catching your tears.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, great. So now we learn a lot about like platonic friends and like how the hints, what to look out for. I don't know if we have Q&A. Anyone has any questions? If not, we're gonna have to do hot questions again.
All right, so
No one has
anyone in
questions.
chat, do you guys have any hot questions for us? And if we don't answer it, then we'll be eating a spicy chili.
Bring these up.
Spicy chili, but you know, if you want, like, you can tell us like what are your thoughts about it, and we can give you our opinion.
It's ragey.
It's
Okay,
a little weird.
there's two questions we have here. So
All right.
Two? I thought we had one.
All right.
Two.
So we'll answer. Okay, Aaron, you can read out the first question.
the
there.
first question is
Oh,
from
on the mic.
So the first question is from Jimmy. How do you all feel about dating coworkers? Yes or no?
Ooh.
Or he said we or no.
We on.
Me is none.
Okay, what's the thoughts? I think it's definitely not okay. Unless you're on a different department, then you're okay.
I agree.
I can't be on the same team
I
because it's
agree.
too awkward. It's way too
Yeah.
awkward.
That's true.
Yeah,
If
I
anything
agree.
goes like
Sideways.
go sideways, you see them every day, and it gets weird.
Yeah.
So everyone's a no,
Do
right?
you quit your job after?
Oh, I actually had.
Right?
Oh, I can say
Well,
this.
honestly, sometimes you might not have a choice. You might get fired on the spot,
Yeah.
right?
So I actually had
Oh, some companies have
someone.
policies.
I had someone that they were dating, but no one knew. But we had a feeling, and then she quit her job. She joined another company, and then they finally made it official on Facebook.
That happens a lot.
That
I feel.
happens.
That
I've
actually
seen that
happens so
happen.
often.
Oh,
I don't know if I
really?
would quit
Yeah.
my job to do that.
She quit her job just.
Well, she
to-
might not have quit because of the relationship. It could have been
Yeah.
other reasons.
Another reason, but like,
yeah.
Well, sometimes I know that like if like a lead or manager knows that two people have a thing but they don't really publicize it, they might
leave it alone.
not leave it alone. They will like get them to change teams just so it's not like in front of everyone or there's like a bias, right? Because it's like say I'm like a lead of something and my girlfriend was like,
Or I was there.
oh yeah, and Angus was like, you know,
Yeah.
on my team, but then I'm like giving
There's no
him like
favoritism.
preference of like work or whatever, right? So
yeah.
yeah, totally get it.
So everyone's a no. Everyone.
Yeah, probably not preferred. It's not like absolutely.
It's
like,
not a
no, you
it's not
can't.
a deal breaker, but I
Yeah.
think you need to like discuss it and just figure it
You
out
set
professionally.
boundaries as
yeah,
well. Yeah.
right.
I feel like it's too much exposure to your partner too, because it's
Right.
because you're working 8 hours a day, assumedly, if not including overtime if you do, and so you do that, and then if you got eventually the hope is you guys would live together like and whatnot, right? So if you guys are still working in that situation where it transitions to you guys are also going home together or you're going on a date together after that, you're with this person
Way too
at
much.
least like 12 to 16 hours in a day.
But you know what? That already happens though with work from home culture. It's like
True,
a lot of people who live together, you are literally co-workers in that sense because you have a desk here, you have a desk there, and you're just like working together.
I think that's a very good test of a relationship. Like I understand like living together, but then like to live together day to day for that many hours, like something's gotta give. I think like you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, we got a spicy question.
got a spice one from Reg.
All right. What's a spicy
So
question?
it's to the guys. This is
To the guys?
Say
yeah, it says,
in the mic.
it says to the guys.
Oh.
So if someone said daddy to you during sex, will you be into it?
Okay. That's a great question, Reggie, right? Is it Reggie? Great
Why was
question,
I envisioning
Reggie.
two guys? Why was I literally envisioning you and Angus?
Hey,
So-
do you have a,
Who calls
do you
you
have a,
daddy?
do you have a
Who calls you
fantasy of
daddy?
us doing something? Or
You guys just have two, like the chemistry is just
Okay,
strong.
so Aaron, has anyone called you daddy?
They call me food daddy, but not.
We're talking
like,
about
in the
during sex, by
bedroom.
the
No,
way.
no.
Not
Yeah.
During sex.
No, never.
Like that's totally different.
Never.
That's different.
No.
But do you want them to call it, or whoever
I don't
you're
think
having?
so.
No? Okay.
It's kind of weird to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone called me Poppy before. Yo,
Oh.
that turned me off.
Oh, off?
Yeah, that turned me off. I do not like daddy, no Poppy, no like dad, no nothing. Like no,
Opa?
not even that. Like no
Not
nothing.
even-
Like I can't do
Interesting.
that.
What about it? Do you not like?
It's like I'm not your dad. Like,
Yeah, it's just.
bro.
You feel like it's weird.
I don't
because
call
it's
you
like-
mommy. Like, yeah,
Well,
that's
some
like a
guys
weird-
do say that stuff, which is a different breed, I think.
Different kind of sus right there.
Okay, I respect whoever is like I don't judge, but
Yeah.
I don't say that
Personally
stuff.
don't like
I don't like find any like I don't get off on that. Like I think some people do, so to each their own, right?
And that's a turn off for you.
That's a turn
Yeah,
off.
it's a turn
I
off,
really
yeah.
hate that. Like as soon as you
Immediately
say
just goes
that,
limp.
Yeah, I'm like
I go lit.
I'm like,
stand up, I walk out.
I'm just gonna go make some noodles.
Interesting.
Because I feel like it's like a dominance thing, right? Some guys like it because then they feel like they have the power. or
Yeah,
something like
some
that.
guys do.
They have daddy issues.
Probably.
Well,
Maybe.
the girls
Probably,
saying
yeah.
that maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, the girls-
we can't make those
Maybe,
assumptions.
yeah.
So
Maybe
there's
not.
There's a
Yes.
possibility.
What about you, Derek? You like it?
No, that's not for me either. It feels really weird too, like the term.
Because it's kind of like incest.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're like, dude.
Yes.
Well, okay, what? And it's like, what
Gotcha.
happens when you like say you take it further enough to meet the dad? You're like, hi.
Oh.
She calls me daddy too.
I've seen those skits though.
Were you
It's
cool?
like you just might as well sign your funeral. It's just like start digging up your grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Oh.
Same person. We might limit the
Wait,
questions
is-
from this
is this
person.
Reggie?
Yeah, we might,
Yo, I love you, Reggie.
wrong?
I love you,
we
Reggie.
might need
Good
to
engagement.
We might need to like limit questions
Reggie.
from Reggie.
Reggie, I love you.
Hey.
I love him too. I love Aaron. You're second.
Reggie's one of my side hosts, so
Oh.
yeah.
Oh my
But
God.
you're my main.
Okay. Okay.
Nice
So what's the
save.
question?
So the question is, what is a deal breaker during sex?
I guess that would be your.
If she calls you daddy,
If she calls me daddy,
immediately
Calls
turned
me
off,
daddy.
leaves the room.
I'm
Is
pretty.
that an actual deal breaker?
I can still go. I can still do it. I can still continue, but it might.
But
No.
would you tell her? Actually, would you
No,
tell her?
I
Be
don't.
like,
Yeah.
hey, like I don't prefer if you. Say
Yeah,
that."
don't call
you
me
would.
Poppy, please.
Call
Yeah.
me brother.
Yeah. Step brother, please.
Hey, brother.
But, no, I'm pretty open. Like, I don't think there's any much deal breakers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What if she cries?
Oh, I've never had that.
I actually had that
before.
before,
Oh.
After or during?
What happened?
and I just completely stop, and then I
Oh,
just
no.
ask
Oh,
her if
that's
she's
really
okay.
Oh.
And
What a
then
gentleman, this
But,
guy.
Yeah,
but
just-
why did she cry in the first place?
Oh,
Yeah.
just like some.
What did
Landy, what the fuck?
Hey, it's not me. Honestly. It's because she had a lot of like emotions that kind of flowed back into her from memories in the past. So that kind of
Surface some stuff.
surfaced some stuff, and it got a
Yeah.
bit awkward. But just there, completely
That's
stop. Make her some food and
Oh, that's
make her
really
feel
nice.
comfortable.
Round two after that.
Nice, yeah.
It'll take some time for me to, because it's quite shocking too, right? Like all of a
Yeah.
sudden,
Yeah.
yeah.
for
And seeing
sure.
someone
Awkward
cry
situation.
really
Yeah.
hurts. So
Yeah, it kills the
Yeah.
mood.
It's like they're
Killer.
extra vulnerable. They're already
Yeah,
vulnerable in
exactly.
that state, and now
Yeah.
they're crying. It's extra
yeah.
vulnerability.
Very
Yeah.
true.
What's
Very
your
true.
what's
Yeah.
your break or
A deal breaker?
deal breaker?
I don't know. Nothing crazy has happened that shocked me, but like I don't know. Like for me, it'd be like if she was like a smoker, if she liked to.
No, this is during sex.
During
Sex.
She's not gonna.
Suddenly,
Hey, you
I
never,
mean,
let her smoke?
you never know.
you never
wait,
know.
wait, stop,
though.
stop, stop. Let me just take like a smoke break.
Well, I'm just saying, like in general, like I don't like people who smoke, and I know some people like to smoke before.
During sex.
I don't know about during sex, but I'm just
Before.
I'm just trying to think of deal
After?
breakers. I never had a deal breaker happen,
You,
so
you don't. It doesn't have to have happened, but like
yeah,
in
that's
the-
what
what
I'm
you think-
thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
of.
Think about.
I'm just
Okay,
not thinking of it.
mid break. She has a smoke break. Midway through sex.
I don't
Sorry,
like
who
I don't
does
like
that?
kissing people that smoke.
Oh,
think-
okay, that could translate because you just don't like to be sexually intimate with someone who.
Yeah,
smokes.
that's what I'm saying.
So that
That-
is
yeah, I'm not like this question doesn't have to be during, but I'm just saying like say she's a smoker or you found out she's smoking, you just taste it, you're like, what the fuck? Right? 'Cause
Kind
for
of like
me-
poor hygiene.
Yeah,
like
because when
smoking breath.
Yeah, like bad breath.
That's a
kinda
when you
fair
taste
one.
it, it's like
That's
like
nasty.
an ashtray. Like I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like you can smoke weed or whatever, but like cigs. I
Okay,
don't know.
cigarette breath or durian breath?
Oh fuck, I hate durian too. You know I hate durian.
I like
too.
durian. But not
You know what?
durian
I'm just
breath.
gonna put a clothespin on my nose and durian breath it is.
She's like,
Okay.
Aaron, why do you have that on? Don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry about it. Just get ready.
Nosebleed. That's why.
Yeah, nosebleed.
But would you tell her to use mouthwash?
Would you be like,
Beforehand?
hey, try this new gum I bought?
Or like gum?
like subtle hints.
I would just try and not get into that situation. She's like, "Oh, do you want to have durian before we?" I'm like, "I don't think it's a good idea."
Okay, so yours is just like bad hygiene breath.
Kind of, yeah. I don't know. I haven't really like thought of a whole list of it. So.
What about for the ladies?
Oh,
Ooh, I
breaker.
thought of one.
I thought
Yeah.
of one too.
It's not even a turn off. It's like I think it's a proper deal breaker.
Yeah.
Like, and this has never happened. I'm just thinking, like, if it ever were to, it would be, if they say someone else's name.
Oh.
Like, okay, I don't even
true.
know if
I-
guys would say like a female's name during, but I'm just thinking, like,
Do
even
guys
Well,
for
say
a
you could
girls and guys
accidentally
situation.
say your ex, I guess.
Yeah, if ex or just someone else.
Because the thing is, the person could be intoxicated too, right? And you know how they say like when someone's under influence, you kind of hear truths into it, so they could say something that they didn't mean to say, right?
But just basically like saying someone else's name if they were to say, and this is for guys and girls too. Like if
Yeah.
a girl shouts out like her ex's name or says some random
Is
guy's
it
name.
Who the
common for
fuck
people
is
to
Bobby?
say names in general? Like, I've never said names before. Like,
No.
have you guys ever said
I don't
names
think
before?
so.
Like,
That's a good question though. But I was
Yeah.
just thinking, yeah.
yeah, no, it makes
If that
sense.
were
Like,
to
I would
happen.
be like, what the fuck? Who is she?
Yeah.
Who's this bitch?
Or not even like just like saying their name during, but just like referencing something like,
Yeah.
oh, like something like
Can you?
that was good or whatever.
Yeah. Or
right?
do you remember you did this, but it wasn't you?
You're like, I didn't do that ever last time. What do you mean? Oh
Yeah, then you'd
shit!
be like, oh shit.
Oh,
I know.
Sorry, Angus usually does that.
What about you? What about you? So stranger Landy, yeah.
I was saying like no reciprocation, I guess. Like if like you go on
One-sided.
a guy, yeah, if it's one sided and
Oh,
and the guy won't
true.
do anything to you.
He's like a
or-
starfish.
Yeah, or like like
Patrick,
we'll
what
be
the
like
fuck?
refuse to do things for you.
Right,
then
right,
it's
right.
like
As soon as he's
well,
like
yeah.
good, he just
Yeah.
like
So like,
Hey, some
why
people-
is it
rolls over
all
sleeps.
you,
Some
right?
people are that dead fish. They just
or like
lay
doesn't even
there.
try or doesn't even want to be like, no, I don't do that or whatever. Then
yeah, that's a good one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're giving your all, but like he doesn't do anything to you. It's like it means that he's not into you that much. I think.
Like he feels just entitled for him
to
to
take.
Yeah, to take.
Selfish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
selfish.
Taker,
that is
not a
selfish.
giver.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are some great questions. I guess that's probably the last one we're gonna take because it's pretty much time's up.
I think Reg needs to take it easy on these questions.
Well, hey, Reg,
those
we'll,
are
we'll,
good.
we'll answer the next one. Next one. We
Reg,
got
are
another.
you okay? You want to text me later?
But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. You can hit that notification button, follow us. You can watch it on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple Tree, or is it Apple Tree? Is that correct?
Apple iTunes?
iTunes. Yeah, everything's under the link tree. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see everyone on the next one.
And
Bye.
let us know in the comments whether or not platonic relationships would work for you. Yes.
All right.
Curious.
See everyone on the next one. Bye.
Bye guys.